pull up a chair and push it to the limit. This is Fluxtaposed, episode 203, recorded on March 13th, 2018. On the docket today, we've got IRL. We're going to get you caught up on What You Playing, featuring Sea of Thieves and Coco. We have a little discussion time. It'll be fun. Strap in. And finally, we'll close out the show with that sweet, sweet, awkward finish powered by the Community Grab Bag. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And as always, enjoy the show.
You're broken again.
Hey, I'm either muted or broken or maybe both. You never know when you join a live show of Fluxtaposed. But hey, that's what we do. Lucas is here. He's going to fix everything. Welcome to another episode of the Fluxtaposed podcast. I am Jason Lacey. That guy, the more majestic looking man, is Mr. Lucas Rose.
I am majestic.
I don't know. Are you on my left or are you on my right? I don't know. I can't see into the internet. Let's see. You're on my left. I'm spectacled tonight. I wanted to be fancy. Lucas, welcome to the podcast. Listeners, welcome to the podcast. Chat, viewers, those of you brave enough to be here live, welcome to the podcast. It's Tuesday. It's Fluxtaposed Day. We're here to have a good time. Hang out, have some fun. You know, do this your podcast. Do this thing that we'd like to do for 4 years now. 4 years strong. It's a good band. I like that band.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it. 4 years strong.
What? I bet you if I played some of their songs, you would, because I've listened to them. I've listened to them for a bit. Ooh, get that mechanical keyboard in the first couple minutes.
Would you say they're screamo?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, with a name like 4 Years Strong,
their older stuff was their newer stuff is not quite. You know, that's the thing I'm finding. Like bands I used to listen to heavily in like my late 20s are now completely different because you know we've had to change and evolve our sound and
that's true. That's true.
Everything's different, you know. But you know. Here we are. Lucas, how are you, man? I haven't seen you since last night.
Yeah, no kidding. On that, what was that show we did? Something about Nintendo. I don't know.
Something Sean Capri,
nerdy
Nintendo stuff. Yes, we're understanding, folks. We were very humbled and happy that we were guests on If We Ran Nintendo with Mr. Sean Capri. You can find that over at youtube.com/WeTheNerdy. Great little podcast that he revived. I think 3 weeks ago now. We don't get asked to be on a podcast in tandem very often.
That's true.
So that was a nice. I really enjoyed that because usually it's me or you, and it was kind of fun to jump on there and take something over with our Fluxtaposed flair.
We came as a couple.
So to speak. We did, and we left forever changed.
It's true.
I don't know. So you can, if you didn't get a chance, Sean streams that Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, because he's out there in Western Canada. And that will release for you audio listeners. That will release on Wednesdays, actually the same day as Fluxtaposed. Imagine that. And it's Pie Day this week. So how about that? Pie Day, little slice of Fluxtaposed pie on March 14th for you.
Now, is it actually Pie Day or is it the number Pie Day?
The number Pie Day, but that's people always eat pie on Pie Day because it's, you know, pie.
Oh, 3-1, yeah.
3.143. I don't know pi. 3.1413693. I'm sure I got it. I had to get one of those, couple of those digits right.
I don't know. I am not a mathematician, so don't ask me. I'm a pi-matician, but that doesn't mean that I know anything about the number pi. So
no, yeah.
Sorry to tell
Aaron Doherty's in the chat. Yeah, once again, Mr. Lucas Lore is in the chat. Hello to you guys. So what's cracking? I don't have, usually we have a lot of cool stories, and I don't have a lot. I will say, did this happen? I didn't touch on it. I didn't touch on it last week, and maybe I should have.
Touch it, dude. Touch it.
I work in a kind of, crazy time. I work in a fairly small office. We're mid-20s now, I think, mid to upper 20s in size. I have like doubled since I've been there. But all of a sudden I'm coming to work, not last week Friday. This would have been 2 weeks ago now. And I'm coming in, there's this one guy, Andy, that's always there in the morning. Because he starts, I think technically shift starts at 7:30, but he's usually there a little early to get started. And he always had this first parking spot. And then all of a sudden he was parking further across the parking lot because trying to, be a little healthier, walk further, that sort of thing.
Sure.
And I thought to myself, I get there, I'm like, oh, Andy's car's not here. I'm like, he must be sick because he was always there before I get there. And I walk in and like, I say hi to one of the guys in the corner. He doesn't say anything. I say hey to one of the guys that's always really, friendly, outgoing. Doesn't say anything. I'm like, okay. Walk past another guy and he's like visibly upset. And I'm like, whoa, man, hey, what's going on? You all right, man? And he's like, I think Brandon's got something to tell you. And all of a sudden, one of the co-owners, Brandon, that I've worked with for years, comes up to me and tells me, like, the guy, Andy, that I thought was sick, like, died, like, passed away unexpectedly on that Friday evening. The guy was only 27 years old. And it's just mind-blowing. I had, like, I still don't know what happened. It was, like, some sort of heart condition or something, and his wife, he woke his wife up in the middle of the night with him failing. And it's just crazy. Like, that incident really puts things in perspective. And I had to, like, reach out to his family and, like, start the life insurance process that we have. And it's just like, man, and it's just crazy because especially as small of an office we are and close, everybody knew everybody. It was just like, wow, and so we had, like the funeral services later on that week for him. It was just like, it really like makes you think, like, especially, you and I being young people and having kids of our own. It's just like,
yeah.
holy shit, anything can change, like that, and now that I've brought the mood of the podcast down, but I mean, we went like all of a sudden though, we lost like 3 employees all of a sudden. And like one guy was a mutual decision that quit, and then we had somebody else that like all of a sudden his girlfriend's mother passed away, and he was moving back to Ohio to help with that. So it's like all of a sudden we're like, we need to hire people. So we got interviews going like crazy, but it's insane what happened with Andy, and I just feel it's rough. I mean, I do like quasi HR stuff, so it's weird to unfortunately be on that side of things too. It's always tough to, we've ever had to let people go, and obviously never dealt with that, but man, I guess if you want to, if there is a bright, if anyway, a bright spin on it, not that it is, I mean, they didn't have any children, at least, not that is a good thing at all, that it helps them, but man, it's just crazy how, the world works. I guess. I think that's, I guess if nothing else, my point of this is, we should always don't take anything for granted, and enjoy, we should always spend all your time doing, the things that make you happy. And I guess, and spending with the people that, you should be with, and it's just crazy how, like the commercials say, life comes at you fast. It's nuts, man. I wasn't, unfortunately I wasn't too close with him, but we had a couple guys that are really tight, and it's tough to see that happen. But I think it's really cool. He was like a really big hockey fan, so he would like, I don't know if he did like season tickets to the Griffins, but he went to a lot of Griffins games. So we've got like we're getting a jersey frame, and then we got a custom Griffins jersey ordered with his name on it that we're going to hang up in the office.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's kind of a cool way. Remember, odd fact, I think one of the girls in the office, I think, dates a Griffins player. I'm not sure, but
you got to do some reconnaissance on that one.
Well, there's nothing on the social, man. The social media details are very.
That's probably
very dry.
That actually
exactly.
leads me
so
to
I
think it's true.
Yeah. So maybe a random holiday party, I'll see this really like tall dude with a flow, got the flowing hair, and I'll be like,
sure,
that's the guy. Especially if he's missing a couple teeth, then for sure.
Then yes.
But hey, how about I bring things up a little bit? Next Saturday,
Please.
It's my son's first birthday.
So, yeah.
With bad news, there's good news. So Tom Servo, I always look up social media because especially in HR, when I'm looking at hiring prospects, you bet first thing I do is check everyone's social media. Because if I see that it's some young kid that's just partying all the time, I don't want to hire you. I want people that are going to be responsible and show up to work on time. So you bet I creep on social media. All I can ever think of, Lucas, you might remember going back to Penny Arcade, the series, when who was their main hiring guy? Was it Alex or Robert?
No,
Robert Koo.
Robert, yeah.
Because whenever he did anything, like I remember when they hired I can't think of her name now, but she came in, not Erica, but the other girl that came in to do their head up the Child's Play. They like scrutinized everything, went back and searched everything and like in her social media history to see like everything. And so I think it's an important thing because you really get an idea of a character of someone if you go on there and see what they're putting out there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at the very least, that if they're putting too much on social media, you can steer clear and you're like, okay, that's a little weird.
So yes, happy birthday to my son coming up. Big 1 year. So did you guys, I don't quite remember, did you guys do a whole lot for Isaac's first birthday? Did you have like a big party? Did you have a lot of family over?
Yeah, you came to it. Oh, for the first one. No, you couldn't come to that one. That's right. I'm getting my birthdays mixed up. Yeah, we did. We rented. I mean, we didn't do anything major, but we rented a pavilion at a park just so that we knew we had enough space for everybody. And other than that, we just grilled out and opened presents and stuff. We didn't have a petting zoo or have a clown or anything crazy like that. I mean, it's the first birthday. Like, they're not going to remember it. It's more for the parents.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And that's our process, our kind of thought process too, is it's more for everyone else. But at the other side of the coin, they only have one first birthday ever.
Exactly.
So it's really like a really reflection, a celebration on the 1 year journey that the family has had to, like, especially with Jess she's breastfed for a year now. That was always her goal. We've raised a child for a year. So, we aren't doing a big thing because we wanted to be like us, special for the three of us. And then I think we're going to separately arrange like some mini get-togethers with the core family members, because you don't want to have like 20 people over and just overwhelm the kid. So, plus, he's going to be up the whole time, wouldn't nap, and then he's going to be upset, and then we're left to deal with that emotional mess. So,
yeah,
but we're looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna bake him a cake.
Ooh,
and I'm no Aaron Doherty in the kitchen, so it's gonna be bad. Chocolate.
Chocolat?
Just chocolate cake. Yeah,
German chocolate.
Something that he can eat. So.
Aaron says, "No, first birthdays are stupid. If that was the case, what did you bring to the whole family? What did you bring to whole family to the birth or conceiving the baby?"
My family was there for the conceiving. There was like a cheering section.
I can only imagine how that would go. But as well,
it was awkward.
My wife's mom wanted to be in there like immediately after. It's like, no, she just wants to chill for.
Oh no, you're talking about the delivery. I'm talking about the conception.
Oh yeah, well yeah, her mom wanted to be there for that too. It was very awkward. Sorry, I was doing something.
But okay, no, that that's all the way. Do you want to like bring us back down? You want to keep
sure?
Steady
My eyes are
level?
I like wipe. You know how sometimes you wipe your eyes and then they won't.
You get some habanero in there.
Apparently, I had mustard on my fingers earlier, but I washed them, so maybe there's a little mustard. Get a little mustard in your eye.
We're trying something new tonight. We're using the old Discord instead of our previous video service. So hopefully video performance is
you look better.
The same or a little better. Well, thank you. I mean,
you put on makeup, but other than that, you look better. No, I don't have I didn't have a lot going on this week. I took my mom to an appointment that she had, and we had to she was going under anesthesia, so she had to have a driver, and
driver, you are the wheel man.
That's right. They're very particular about that thing, about having a driver.
Yeah.
And so I had to take Isaac with us to the waiting room for a little while, and that was kind of interesting because he's never been in that atmosphere where you kind of have to be quiet, and I didn't know how it was gonna go, so I took a bunch of stuff with us, and turns out he just played with cars, and until she went back there, we waited about a half hour, and then I took him outside, and because he doesn't understand like to be quiet, so that was really the only thing was like he doesn't have an inside voice yet. So we went outside and we walked around for a little bit, and then he got picked up by Derek's girlfriend, who we call Aunt Brittany now, because that it's headed in that direction, so she'll be a real.
They're working on the common law marriage.
Exactly. So that was pretty interesting, but other than that, I didn't really do anything or have anything going on, so unfortunately no hilarious stories or hospital visits for myself. So other than that, we have Isaac's first class tomorrow for that tumble and play, which is apparently parent-led, so it's not just, here's a gymnasium for your kids to throw your... no, I'm not sick, for once. Throw your kids around in and be like, all right, you just play with all the other children, and I'm going to sit here and check my phone. So... Gotta
creep on my social media, right?
Yeah, exactly. I gotta look up all these women who are applying to jobs at my workplace, if you know what I mean.
Hey, just saying, you eliminate the bad eggs. I'll never remember, there was a guy at one of my last jobs that we hired, and his name was Som, S-O-M. And kind of a cocky guy, worked out a lot, and then apparently he moonlighted as a DJ 3 Som. Get it?
Oh my God, he sounds.
And I knew right during the working, my field, they're always big on working interviews and have you kind of shadow and get an idea of the job. And I just remember when I was like, at the time, I'm sitting here showing him what we do, the workload, how we do things, and I would look over and he's like on his phone. And I should have just gotten like pissy with them, like, oh, I'm sorry, am I, is my are you too important for me, or brought it like really you did something to him, but me, I'm not confrontational, so I'm just like whatever, I'm not management. And I remember I said to the one guy, I was like, I don't have a good feeling about this guy at all. He was in here, he wasn't taking the process seriously, he was just screwing around. And sure enough, they like hired him. He showed up, he did half-assed his job, and then he had like a car breakdown. And he like missed for like 5 days in a row, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just quitting." It was a worthless hire. I was like, I could have saved you all the time in training, the 3 weeks that you spent on him if you just would have listened to me.
Yeah, no kidding, man. That's horrible.
I mean, I think I'm a pretty good judge of character because you have a pretty cool co-host on my podcast. So I'm just saying.
I like how you're kind of in HR, but kind of not in HR. But
I'm kind of in HR. I'm kind of in IT. I'm kind of in administration. I'm kind of in payroll. I'm kind of in all these things, but not.
You got your fingers in a lot of pies, my friend.
Yep.
Fingering those pies like, whoa.
I'm just going to...
just let that lie for a while.
Tiptoe past that one. How about that? So... on the podcast, sometimes we do things, we try to keep content mixed up. We have our end of the month Netflixation. We used to have our start of the month live show. Now we're always live. We're experimenting with the game nights. We're going to keep seeing that in there. But every once in a while, we'd like to do, we had the Fluxtaposed top 3, or we'll bring a guest on. But tonight, it's been a while, so we thought... we do need a top 3 soon. We looked at the old content, and we're like, we don't have a show planned out tonight. But then we're like, you know what? We haven't done a discussion in a while. And I was sitting here on my break at work today, and like randomly last night, after such an exciting If We Ran Nintendo with Sean Capri, I couldn't sleep. And so I needed to watch a little streaming media to relax myself, and I jumped back into The Tick on Amazon, which I watched the pilot when that debuted, gosh, forever ago, and now they have I think they call it 2 seasons, but really it was like the first half of the season aired in 2017, and they released the second half just now in 2018. I was like, I'm gonna get back into The Tick because I loved the version that was on Fox with Patrick Warburton back in, gosh, when was that? 2001, I think. And I was a little apprehensive of this, but I want to give a chance. But that's all here nor there. The point is, I was like, as I was watching this, and it just kind of hit me today. I was like, oh, that's a good topic. That's a good idea. So what we thought was, what 90s, not necessarily the 90s, but for us growing up, that's kind of where it was. 90s cartoon or show, basically a show from your childhood, would you want to bring back? Now, you could bring back just standard or reboot or reimagine as a streaming series. So, for instance, The Tick. Most of us know The Tick as the Fox Kids cartoon run that it had back in the 90s. I mean, it was a comic book before that, but that's how most of us know it. And then it's been brought back as this. So it's kind of like, let's give Lucas and I each a chance to pitch our own show, why we'd want to bring it back, what it would be, something of that nature. So, yeah, Lucas. Yes. We have some community submissions that we'll sprinkle in here, but lay it on me. What is the show you want to bring back? Now, it can be anything. It can be an animated series. It can be a live action series. It could be, and you can bring it back as an animated or a live action series. It doesn't,
Sure.
There's no rules here. Well, I mean, there are rules, but I mean, there's no, you know what I mean.
Hashtag no rules. Well, I thought about it for a little while, and of course, I grew up in the 90s, a little bit younger than you, so I was still watching more along the cartoon lines of things. So obviously, my first thought was like, oh, Rocko's Modern Life, but that's already being remade technically, or at least having that update movie or whatever.
Ren and Stimpy already got remade.
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead's already been remade. So I went in the opposite direction. I thought, okay, well, what are some of the few TV shows, live action, that I remember watching? And one that I remember watching as a kid, and it began in the late 80s, but still continued on up until 1993, I believe, was The Wonder Years.
Oh, yeah.
So
one of my wife's favorite series.
Yeah, I remember we watched it. Me and my wife watched it together. Not too long ago, probably about a year ago now.
What would you do if I sang out a tune?
I never. Yeah.
Joe Cocker.
Was it tune or was it key? No, it was.
I think
tune.
It is tune. It's tune. Yeah.
They do say key. I don't know. Anyways.
I think. Oh no, it's a different verse. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Everyone's right, and so.
You know what's funny, when that was on Netflix, they didn't have the rights for that song.
Yeah, so I noticed.
So it was the intro without that. It's just not the same.
Well, and I thought about it, and I thought to myself, all right, so what would I do to update it, I guess. But the funny thing is I wouldn't make it about present day. I think what I would do is I would make it about Kevin Arnold being the dad now, and then place it in the mid 80s, and then have it run up until probably 4 years. I think I'd have 4 seasons, and it would just follow his kids 4 years of high school. Is probably where I would kind of try to hit the target with.
I think a lot of shows would be a lot more successful if they had that starting point and end point in mind. I think a lot of shows begin and they're not prepared for success, and you have to stretch out this experience for seasons after seasons after season after season, and after a while your 28-year-old actors aren't very believable 17-year-old in high school anymore.
That's another problem. But I mean, the 80s nostalgia and the 90s nostalgia is really hot right now, so I think it would work. The timing would be a little bit weird because I know it took place in the 60s originally, so I'd have to bend the rules there a little bit. But yeah, I mean, obviously, many of the common themes of like learning about your own family would be part of it. It wouldn't be an R-rated show, obviously. So I think it would really just be an update for the modern audience, I guess, so to speak.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
You gotta comment on what chat's throwing at you.
Yeah, right, chat's throwing some serious shade over here.
There's shade being cascaded onto Lucas.
I never thought Winnie Cooper was attractive, even when I was a kid. I always thought she looked kind of I don't know. I had a cousin, or no, I had a niece who looked similar to her, so it was kind of difficult for me to even think of Winnie that way. But I also just don't like the way she acts. She's kind of a bitch, and she's I don't know, she's just not very appealing to me at all as a human being.
Well,
so you heard it there first. I did not have a crush.
I like how he went from appealing in terms of attraction to she's not even appealing as a human being. She doesn't even deserve to live.
I guess I should say as a character maybe, but if I had a cousin that looked like Winnie Cooper, then it would have been okay because kissing cousins.
All aboard.
That's
all
right.
Aboard the Lucas hype train.
But yeah, that would be what I would do. Obviously,
same format, style of show.
I think I'd probably try to make it 45 minutes long instead of 30 or 20 minutes, whatever it was originally. But yeah, other than that, pretty much, make it a coming of age story dealing with, because see, that's the tough thing, right? Is if I don't put it in the modern day age, or if I make it that early, like the late 80s and early 90s, you miss the cell phone period. You miss most of the internet up until a certain point. So it might not be as relatable to kids as it would be to the adults who knew the original show. So that's kind of tough. But I don't know. I think you could pull it off. I think it would be doable. So.
For the kids. I like ever think of when people say something like that line. Is that episode of South Park when Cartman's trying to he keeps referencing Stand and Deliver, Mr. Escalante with oh gosh, what's his name from Battlestar Galactica? Edward James Olmos.
Almost.
How do I reach these kids?
Jeez. I forgot about that.
That's what I do. I bring back these weird, obscure, horrible references.
Bring it back. Yeah.
All right. Good pitch.
Thank you.
When I think of a show or something that I was really into, there's a lot of stuff. I watched all the Disney after school programming. You had the Gummy Bears or Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers or anything that was.
I still sing the theme song to that damn show. Chip and Dale.
What's the Chip and Dale
Rescue Rangers?
Well, I've got another theme song that's going to get stuck in your head.
Oh, good.
And you might remember this show because I loved it. I was big into it. The 90s X-Men animated series.
See, yes, that one's harder to sing though. Oh, Tailspin. I was going to make a joke about Tailspin actually. But see, I thought about that too, but then there's been so many versions of X-Men because I thought Batman as well.
Batman would be good too. The Batman animated series, that was another good
Batman
one right up there. But here's my thought though, because my quick runner up was the Spawn series from HBO,
yes,
because that was awesome. But
I never did see that one.
Oh, that's good. So was the Pit. I like the Pit as well. Or no, was it the Max?
Oh, the Max. Yes.
On
yeah.
TV.
No,
I think it was the Max.
Yeah, but the
Pit
psycho guy.
The Pit's an Image comic, I believe. But the whole thing with X-Men is I would like to see it as a more basically take that original, that series, because what's so great about that, it was like an episodic long form, like, it had a big story that played out, and
it followed some of the comic books pretty well.
Followed some of the comics, and I would like to see that updated for more of an adult audience. Put that on.
Why doesn't Wolverine ever use his damn claws except for against robots?
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to see it. Let's combine like Deadpool.
Okay. With
animation, and then I would say, I don't know what network I'd like to see it on, but I don't want to see it on just another kid show, but maybe something like, maybe like see something like on an HBO animation or some, or I don't know if Netflix would do it, but because it really got me thinking with watching The Tick, because there's some pretty, it's got cursing and it's got some gore and violence in there, so it's not, it's much more in your face than what, unless yes, it is slapstick and parody, but it takes that next step too. So I'd like to see it. I'd like to see these characters in more adult situations, more heavy, not such adult, but heavier, situations instead of. I don't think it would ever happen with Marvel and Disney now, but
probably something, right? I mean, something closer to like what the movies deal with being an outcast and stuff.
Yeah.
Let me let me just hit you with this really quick, and then you can continue. Oh yeah. I was sitting here and I'm thinking, I need to hear this again. I mean, it's only 1 minute, but it's a damn good minute, let me tell you. So would you have you got to bring this back, this exact song, but like
remastered,
a little heavier, remixed.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to have some auto-tune in there.
Do you Radioactive Spider Blood?
Do you remember like when they had the Pizza Hut promo for this, and you could get the VHS
Night of the Sentinels?
Like there was a promo, exactly. Yep, there was a promo with Pizza Hut, and you got the Night of the Sentinels VHS, the first episode, all about Jubilee and everything.
I do remember that. We were too poor to eat at Pizza Hut. No, I'm just kidding. No, I never took it up on that. It's probably one of those things where it's like, just pay $9.95 for shipping and handling, and you get this tape for free.
No, they hand it to you right there at the restaurant. Because I mean, this like I was really into this because of the show. I mean, and they had the awesome. I don't think it was quite a tie-in. It might have been a little bit of a tie-in to the show, but the action figure line that Toy Biz made, phenomenal. Because we were talking about and the PSVG Discord server, we were talking about apparently all US. It's going to be if it hasn't been announced already. Toys R Us is pretty much going to be closing their entire North American operations.
Oh, I knew they closed a lot of stores recently.
Yeah, because they had bankruptcy, and they're still not, unless there's someone that steps in like the last minute to help absolve their debt. But like they're in, at least in North America, they're not doing well.
You've got bankruptcy.
So that just made me think, like, Toys R Us was a destination because we lived, an hour away from that store. KB and Toys R Us were always a destination. I remember going to Toys R Us, and it wasn't on the shelf. And how many times when you ever asked someone, can you just go check the back room? Which that never happens. But this guy checked the back room, and he came back with the Wolverine figure, and that was like that was like
you creamed your jeans.
10-year-old Jason. I wasn't even able to cream yet. 10-year-old Jason was just like,
you weren't creaming yet? I've been creaming since I was 5. Oh, okay. Oh, that just got really weird.
Yeah, that got awkward. So I just remember that's like something I was really hugely. The Genesis game,
That's true. Those Genesis games are sick.
That's why I would bring that back. I think I would keep it as an animated series. You know what also would be good? My runner-up, Reboot.
Oh my god. I was wanting to watch that.
Reboot was awesome. I loved Reboot as a kid.
That was a game. That was a Saturday morning cartoon show.
On ABC.
That's the thing, is I never woke up on Saturday morning, so I was.
Well, they did that weird time jump for it too, right at the end.
See,
where they
checking out.
Like they killed off Bob, and they made Enzo.
Don't spoil it for me.
Old.
1994. Oh yeah, back when the internet could be anything you wanted it to be, basically. It looks like Second Life.
It does.
To defend my newfound friends.
Oh God, it's creepy.
Yeah, it probably looks really creepy, but I don't know.
Oh, Beast Wars! I didn't even think about Beast Wars.
That I thought about Beast Wars a little bit too. That was a cool.
That's
Do you remember the episode? Do you remember the episode where they like found like the Transformers? Like they were in like this. They were all like in stasis, or they were like deactivated and all dusty. Like Optimus Prime was there. Like all the core Autobots.
Yeah, because they had to make more toys, and so didn't they put them in new animal bodies or something? That's enough of that. That wasn't. They need a much catchier theme song. Obviously, that was the problem with that one.
Those early computer animated series are always a
little sketchy.
Little interesting. Yeah, but yeah, X-Men I think would be the sweet way to go.
That would be. That's a solid. What did he always say? Sherry. That's what it was. He was always saying Sherry. It's like Sherry. I don't do a very good impression, so if I just keep saying Sherry.
Mon Sherry.
He's not a French villain.
I turned into that the chef from Little Mermaid.
He was born on the bayou. That was the thing. So
there you go.
You're getting it mixed up.
We did throw this out on Twitter, and we did get a few quick answers, quick and dirty, as we like it here on the show. Shout out! Speaking of quick and dirty, shout out to Rybo for his awesome gift work of us doing some milking. We did get a few answers from you guys on shows that you'd like to bring back. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Aaron. Good luck at the new job. Get some sleep, my friend.
Later, bubs.
Later, brother. So we'll put that out. We put that out there on the Twitterverse. We got a few responses, and in no particular order. Here we go. Mr. Denny Luce says, "Hey." And sorry, Denny, this ages you, my friend.
Yeah, it does.
This ages you a lot, my friend. For me, it'd be the $6 Million Man, Space, 1999, Mission Impossible, Three's Company, and maybe a modern day Dukes of Hazzard with different actors.
I could see the Dukes of Hazzard working, actually.
Yeah.
Three's Company was a great show.
They had the TV. They had the movie. Saturn movie, so they're like, well, we can't. We already bastardized it once.
That's true. How many times can you have a show about two kids getting away in a car and ramping over something? You know what I mean? Like it would have to be wildly different. I think.
What was the boss?
Boss Nass? No, Boss Hog. Is that what you're talking about?
Or was it? Yeah, I love it.
Big Boss Man.
Guy. Yeah.
Brother. I think it was Boss Hog with 2 G's, wasn't it?
Yeah, something. Boss Hoss, I don't know. Denny
Boss Hog.
Boss Hog. Denny, we're young bucks. We don't know.
Jefferson Davis J.D. Hogg, better known as Boss Hog.
Wow.
On the Dukes of Hazzard television program.
No, nobody said the Zelda cartoon. Excuse me, Princess.
I think that was that on the cartoon, or was that in the 3DO? Or
I hope it was. I think it was in both, but I think it's worse in one.
Well, excuse me, Princess.
Mr. Backlog Blues himself.
Nice.
Crazy Surge. Now, I'll go in order. The show of my high school years. Oh no.
You did put it in order.
I put these in weird order. Okay. Now is the time for a new Super Mario Brothers show and a Legend of Zelda cartoon.
Nice. It's true.
I can see that capitalizing the popularity.
I almost talked about making a Nintendo's film and animation studios. That was my other topic for if we ran Nintendo. So that's funny that you mentioned that.
Oh. And then his other answer was a reply to something someone else showed. Again, about Beavis and Butthead, and it was the show of his high school years. He had every single episode on VHS.
Wow.
Beavis and Butthead was like that show that I wanted to watch just because I couldn't watch it.
Wasn't allowed. Yeah.
But when I did watch it, like I didn't care for like I wasn't old enough to like really understand when they were making fun of the music videos enough, so I didn't care about that.
I hated
the
that
actual episode stuff. So as an adolescent, I was just like, this is stupid. Unless it was Guar stuff, and then I was like, yeah.
I think they got rid of that because they technically did bring that show back for a little while. My question though is, with the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, would it be would it still have the live action actors at the beginning?
You have to.
It's the Super Mario Super Brothers show.
Do the Mario. I did like the Beavis and Butthead movie. I loved that as a kid. That was, well, I was like a teenager, I think, when that finally came out.
They've got a lot of slots in Vegas. Whoa!
They've been doing a lot of walking in my tool shed.
Oh.
Top Days _ Belmont, Silverhawks. I do remember that vaguely because I had two action figures from Silverhawks. There was this young kid that was like bronze, and the toys all had like if you like squeeze their legs, their arms would pop out, and then they have
I hated those
wings. And I had like the villain. It was the villain, like a red dude with like all red, and he had like these spikes, like Statue of Liberty spikes almost on his face. I mean,
I'm looking at the Wikipedia, which is the worst for like visual information I find, like for pictures of people. There was a kid who was red and had spikies. Not seeing oh yeah. Well, I see some fan art of all things.
Oh yes, it's totally him. Monstar is his name, and I had like the classic the classic toy. You squeeze the leg, and the chest would open up, and the head would flip because he had like this humanoid head with an eye patch, and then he has the full on spiky head too. So
I've literally never seen this in my entire life.
I just very vaguely remember it as a child. I can't remember.
It looks cool as hell.
Didn't they bring back like a crappy version of Thundercats? Didn't they do another?
Yeah, they tried to do it for like 1 second on Cartoon Network, I believe, and it only lasted.
That was always my jam too. Like I kind of liked He-Man, but I think I liked Skeletor more than He-Man.
Skeletor.
But yeah, Silverhawks. I do remember Silverhawks. That was cool. We've already got Voltron, which we enjoy.
It's true.
We already watched that, and a short Thundercats, which I talked about. Perhaps SWAT Cats. That was a cool show. I liked SWAT Cats, and Motorbike. Was it Biker Mice from Mars?
Yeah, that was another one that there's a lot on here that I would see it and I just
Samurai
never
Pizza
caught
Cats.
it. What was the shark one? Street Sharks?
Sewer Sharks. Or was it Street Sharks? Sewer Sharks, that like a CD game. But I think it is Street Sharks.
Yeah, and then there was also that dragon. What was the dragon one? The green guy?
Oh gosh, Green Dragon or something, wasn't it?
Street.
Or Ultimate Dragon or Street. No, I think it was Street Dragon. I don't know.
Streets of
Pretty sure you're right.
Dragon.
Streets of Dragon Quest. It is Street Shark.
So what was the one with the green guy? He had a fin on his head.
I know exactly. Wasn't he from
My damn keyboard would work. Sorry, everybody.
Dragon.
Savage Dragon.
Savage. Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
We should just call this Google typey show.
Ooh, Luke has asked, what was the one where there was an owl who was super wise and he had a red outfit?
An owl? Winnie the Pooh?
This is great audio. This is great podcasting. Just hear us typing. I'll let Lucas peruse the Google. I'll keep going.
Go ahead.
Coach Hulk. I didn't have much of a childhood as far as shows, but as an adult, my wife showed me the Gummy Bears, and those dudes had some bounce.
Gummy Bears.
For those that may not be as familiar as Coach Mo, he was much more into sports, so any chance he had, he was outside doing the sports and not nerding out with the rest of us. Might be cool to see it get a modern twist. I always liked the Gummy Bears. That was a great show. Something everywhere.
I can do it all if you wanted. Oh, just about. Ooh. That's another one where I find myself just randomly singing it.
Are you asking for a challenge?
Are you asking for a challenge? No, I do not. I'm too much.
I like Fraggle Rock a lot too.
Gargoyles.
Ooh, Gargoyles.
Yes. I didn't even think about that. Dang.
That's another good
Gargoyles was probably one of the best cartoons out that Disney was putting out at that time.
Gargoyles was good. That was like, you had like a quite the after-school block because I think he had Gargoyles. Wasn't Batman the animated series still on at that time too?
Yeah. Well, see, I always caught Gargoyles on when Disney released that extra channel, the one that was like way down the list and would always play some of the older cartoons. But then you had Fox's after-school shows, which were Beast Wars, Spider-Man, Batman.
Spider-Man was
X-Men.
a good show too.
It's good stuff.
Captain Planet.
That does not need to be no.
The power of heart.
It's more likely that it would be remade in the other direction. It'd be like Captain Global Warming doesn't exist.
Trump is Captain Planet.
Captain Ignorance. He's our hero. Our world isn't slowly dying. That's
Kevin Austin says the Muppet Show again, but a good reboot this time. I'm a huge Muppet fan, and I was so thrilled when I saw when the Muppets were coming back, and then like that was not a good show. I tried to even watch. I didn't even watch it all. Like they had the problem with like I think the showrunner left. I think they changed writing teams. They changed completely changed direction of like how they were doing the show. Shame too, because I remember like once Forgetting Sarah Marshall came out, and Jason Segel does that whole puppet thing in there, and that's how he got involved with remaking a movie or doing a new Muppet movie, and that came out, and I loved that first. I never I don't remember what it was called. It was just what was the first Muppets movie that came out recently? I don't remember, but I still haven't seen the second one that came out after that. And I've always loved the Muppets. That's what I wanted as a kid for the longest time. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to either be a puppeteer or work in the Jim Henson Creature Shop, because I think that would be like the most amazing job of building those things. I mean,
there was
Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal is one of my favorite movies ever, except for the voiceover of the main character. He sounds so dumb.
It's too bad they never got that prequel off the ground. And then turned into a comic book series.
There's a specific line in the movie where he says, "But I don't understand," and it sounds so fake British and just awfully delivered.
He's playing his flute.
Pretty, yeah. Gelfling.
What are they?
Sex. Like,
what are the vulture guys called?
Skeksis. Oh yeah,
Skeksis.
Yeah, I can't. I don't remember the voice though, but I remember they always went.
Oh, that was like
different.
Yoda and Salacious Crumb at the same time. Callow says, "Oh, dude, Beavis and Butthead. It taught me all about the American values and culture while I was growing up on the island, aka Puerto Rico."
I'm sorry.
What else do you need? Pure gold.
Did you say Puerto Rico? Oh.
I did.
One of the best parts of King of the Hill. Puerto Rico. I love it.
I sell propane and propane accessories. And lastly, our final answer came from Kyle, proud member of the PSVG network. Sequest DSV, starring Jonathan Davies. He was also in Neverending Story. He was in Sidekicks. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that he took his own life, but yeah, there you go. Bobby's World. Oh yeah, I remember watching that too.
Can you believe Howie Mandel did the voice for that?
I can.
It's crazy. By the way, the Muppets came out in 2011, and then Muppets Most Wanted came out in 2014.
So what's just the Muppets? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like how this started out. It was like we're gonna pitch a show, and then it's like let's just go down and start.
Let's just talk about
talking about all the shows we liked as a kid, essentially. That was all the feedback we got from you listeners. Typically, if you ever want to jump in on something like this, I would say pay attention to our Twitter channel or our Twitter feed, so to speak, because that's typically where we get the most response and we're connected with the most people. Facebook just seems to be more and more a waste of time. I feel like so. I mean, I will post things on there, but Twitter's the way to go. So if you always want to see what we're doing, we'll put up Twitter polls time to time. We'll occasionally blast things out from the Patreon site as well. But Twitter's where it's at, yo. We like to tweet and like the birdies. So you go. There you go. We have our two show ideas, X-Men and
the Wonder Years. Wildly different.
Remastered, wildly different. We've talked for a bit. Let's reset the show, and what better way to do that than with an overclocked remix musical break?
Oh, you got a little Cosby
sponsored
in there.
If we're not sponsored by Humble Bundle, maybe we'll get sponsored by Overclocked Remix one of these days. As always, we like to pick a random remix from the latest submissions on the site. We'll play it here in the middle of the show for you to enjoy or skip. Or what do we got?
Speaking of the 3D,
is this Castlevania?
No, it's number 4. It wasn't, not the 3DO though. It's the Interact CDI. That's what I was thinking of. It's from Zelda: The Wand of Gamelon.
How magical is this? We were just talking about it, and we got it. As Lucas excitedly proclaimed, our remix tonight does come from Zelda: The Wand of Gamelon, released in 1993.
Oh, I did not read that. I swear to you.
By Philips Interactive Media on the CDI. Music by Tony Trippy. This is the Overworld menu. Our remixer is Hylian and Lemon. This remix called Only Link can do the duck walk. Boy, if you've never experienced the CDI Zeldas, you're doing yourself a disservice. You need to never play them, but just watch a Let's Play of someone having a horrible time with it.
I watched the Game Grumps. It was pretty entertaining.
Was that when they were trying to play with like the ball controller or whatever at one point?
Yeah, I think that's all. Yeah, they wanted the full experience, and I think that's all they had for it. I don't remember.
Yeah. So anyway, we are going to play this remix. I hope it's awesome.
There better be singing.
We'll be back in a little bit to keep the show going, but stick around for that. So, as always, you can find this remix and probably a couple more over at ocremix.org. I love it. That was
interesting.
I feel like that would be my Majestic Victory song.
That's a long,
for some reason.
It's a long song.
Well, you know, I have a lot of celebrating. Like prior to this podcast, I was like, you know, I'm going to stream some ARMS. Yeah, I streamed ARMS from the Nintendo Switch, and I lost every match but the very last one. Played for like 20 minutes. And it was like, yes! So after that, you have to have like a 10-minute victory song.
That's true. That's true. You finally overcome.
Because it makes me feel good.
Oh, can you make me feel good? I've never actually seen that movie.
There's VOD of it, Tomo. It's up there, Mr. Servo. It's on my old Twitch. Twitch.tv.
Yeah, you got to do a better job of selling yourself. You got to be like, which of course you can find on our Fluxtaposed YouTube channel, where you can find all of our videos.
Actually, if you want to get access to the VODs, you need to be $1 patron tier member. Then it's all locked. It's all locked content.
That's right. I've noticed too that you do the Patreon subscribers get all of our episodes a week ahead of time, and then everybody else has to wait or whatever.
You know, it's funny you talk about you talked about podcast reads. There's this episode, you know, I listen to a variety of podcasts, and there's one my wife turned me on to called Out of the Shadows, and it's about this guy that like he did somewhat investigations, but kind of does a lot of information sharing about cold cases. But the way he has ads in there, it's just terrible. Like as soon as it starts out, it's like a progressive ad, and then it'll just be right in the middle of his content, like abruptly, just in the middle of you're listening, and then just like, "Hey, do you want to buy this?" And it's just like it's just like it's not just like him doing a read; it will just be audio of a commercial, and it's just abrupt and loud, and it kills it for me.
Sounds like they might be automatically placed. I've heard of. I don't know how it works, but I've noticed they've told me every once in a while because I evaluate podcast ad reads for people who don't know, and they're placed in like I don't know if there's like it just gets put in there by some algorithm or what, like, oh, this is exactly the halfway point. Not everybody does it though.
Yeah, so. I don't like that. I don't mind if someone's doing it like does a read at the end of the show or even at the beginning of the show or in the middle. They, you know, usually they'll bring it to a breaking point and do it, and it's fine. But that I don't like that at all.
Well, before we move on, I do want to say, if you guys are looking for a great website to buy a bundle full of games, check out Humble Bundle and use my offer code /Flux. That's FLUX at humblebundle.com, and you'll save $5 on your first shipment.
There's a Bob Ross bundle right now. But yes, speaking of bundles, let's have a bundle of fun in this week's What You Playing?
Oh my god, I feel like I need to I'm waiting for the ding, ding.
I feel like ding, I need to lose.
Bing. Yeah, you do. Dude, I smoked you in a racing game in which you were playing over the internet.
I got that first, that first race. I was in second place. I'm like, yeah. And then after that, the wheels just figuratively and literally.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, our friend Mike said that he went back and played it recently as well, and his favorite character is Toadstool, like me, and he was like, that game is impossible to control. I picked Toadstool remembering that he's supposed to have the most easiest handling, and I sucked. I was like, yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Well, shall I go first so I can get mine out of the way? Because for once, you have more content than I do.
Yeah, I did all the things.
I didn't do shit. I've been watching stuff. One of which is called Everything Sucks, and you can find it on Netflix.
I've been meaning to maybe check this out.
I won't spoil it. No spoilers. I will say, though, it's a great coming-of-age tale, so to speak, about 3 kids who are... Well, it's mostly about one kid, but there are him and his friends. It's it's their first day of their freshman year of high school, and they joined the AV club because where else? They're nerds. What else are they going to do? Takes place in the 90s and plays a lot of 90s music that you would remember. Space Hog, Mighty Boss Tones.
In the meanwhile, or in the meantime.
In the meantime. Yes. That song single-handedly got you into playing the bass, clearly, because you're still remembering the bass line.
I can play that. I can play that on bass. Epic bass line.
Who needs a real bass guitar when you can just play mouth bass?
Let's play Slapping the Bass Man.
Oh God, that's the name of this episode. Is
that was on this? That was on this past weekend. Slapping the Bass.
I love that movie. Well, obviously, it's got my boyfriend in it. So everything sucks. It's really good. That's a weird thing to say, but it took me 2 or 3 episodes, not because it's slow, but I had a hard time understanding if this was supposed to be for kids or if it was supposed to be for adults, but then it kind of became clear that it's for adults. It just seems like it's for kids because the kids are acting like children to a certain extent, so there's not like a ton of swearing or anything at first. But the relationships are pretty complex, and the main characters, all of them really do a really good job of acting, especially for kids. So yeah, I will tell you, I got a little misty-eyed. There's some serious things that hit close to home, and I'm guessing, I mean, it's pretty obvious the way they left things that they're going to make a second season. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. So I would recommend it to just about anybody. I can't really see any terrible faults with it, I guess. So, yeah. So if you're thinking about checking it out, I would say definitely check it out.
I will check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
Check it out. The other thing you should check out, because I've talked about this plenty of times, is the show Love on Netflix as well.
I still haven't watched that.
Mike dropped the bomb on me. He was like, "Oh, by the way, March whatever, 3rd season of Love's coming out." I'm like, "What?" Because normally Netflix will tell you that something's coming up that you've watched previously, and it's like Voltron. It always tells me, "Hey, season 5, whatever." I had no idea about Love. I just kind of forgot about it for a little while, but I started watching it. I'm about episode 4, I think, into it out of 10, so I'm about halfway through. It's a great series. It's about 2 people who are very unlikely to come together and have a relationship, but they kind of bring their baggage along with them, and then that baggage makes them kind of second guess whether or not this is the relationship they're supposed to be in. For instance, the one of the main characters has a sex and relationship addiction, as in they don't know how to be who they are unless they're in a relationship, right? And they like the idea of being in a relationship, which can be very difficult when you don't know the difference between a relationship that you're genuinely happy to be in and one that you're just, continuing this fake sort of existence, I guess. So
okay, yeah,
that's one of the things that come into play. So adult theme, or adult complexities such as that, and then there's a little bit of movie making stuff in there as well, which is always there. It's a weird amount I've noticed in some of these shows lately. There's a weird amount of movie making going on in these shows because there's some in Everything Sucks as well. So it's really funny to see that. It is R-rated. There's a lot of swearing, so just keep that in mind. But for the most part, it's a great adult show dealing with relationships. It's funny. That's the show that one of my favorite lines is. My mom said all Midwestern guys are really nice. Well, you can tell your mom to go fuck herself or whatever. So, yeah, I love the show. And then, lastly, I'll have a more complete thought about whether or not I liked the 3rd season after I watch all of it. Lastly, I got to play Sea of Thieves because you had told me that it was an open beta, and I got to lay down some controversy here. I don't think I'm gonna buy it.
Well, I'm not gonna buy it either.
Well, yeah, I know you're gonna do the $9.99.
Why would I buy it when I can play it for free?
Right. Well, that doesn't work for me because I don't have an Xbox. I can like I said, I can play that and Gears of War 4, and that's it.
True.
Now let me tell you why I'm saying this. Because I got in there and I played by myself because I didn't know that it's not crossplay yet. So that was part of it. Because I was like, anybody out there want to play this with me? And nobody responded. I didn't tag anybody either. But it's a good thing we didn't even try because pretty much everybody else who I know plays it is playing it on Xbox. However,
yeah, I don't think the crossplay was working during this. I'm not positive, but I'm assuming it was.
So before I get into why I'm not gonna buy it or do a Game Pass, let me tell you about my two experiences that well, three technically, I guess. So my first thing, I loaded up, and getting into it was a problem because they had said that they were having issues on the server because so many people were trying to play. I can understand that, not a problem. So when I finally do get in, I wasn't really expecting to, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm playing this. We're doing it. So I get in there, and I knew that they drop you in, and you don't really know what to do, and that's kind of the whole point. Is it's open ended. You make your character, and then you sail on the seas, and you make your path to fortune, however that may be. So the problem is I didn't understand where to go to get anything. So I had to look that up. So I'm looking that up, and then I finally figure out, I get one of these trader missions. I'm like, all right, how do I start this though? Okay, I put it on this table. So I put it on the table, and I've started the mission. Where the hell do I go? I don't understand where am I supposed to go? Then later I find out in my second playthrough that it's a separate select a dial thing where you bring up one of those rings and you can push your thumbstick or whatever in the direction of the item that you want. Well, they have two of them, one for your items like your bucket, your shovel, and all that stuff, and then the other one had the maps in it. I didn't realize I was given maps last time. It does tell you. I just didn't know that it told me that I got a map because I wasn't paying attention apparently. So I set sail. Are you two? We're not wearing the same shirt. I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm wearing my Truck Brewing shirt.
We are both wearing green, and it isn't even St. Patrick's Day, though. So I better wash this sucker, because I think I only have like 2 green shirts. But anyways, so I set sail.
Do that.
Wash your shirts?
No, I wear whatever I want on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, I'm going to come pinch you. Pinchy. Right on the nipples. Right on all 3 of your nipples. So anyways, I set sail, and I know what I'm doing now. And I get a pirate mission. That's the important part here. I'm going to go find a treasure. And I know there's the odd chance that I might see somebody else on the high seas, right? So I'm going towards this thing. And let me tell you, trying to commandeer a boat by yourself is horrible because you're steering it, but then you have to run down and check the map to make sure you're still headed in the right direction. I never really had a too big of a problem getting to my destination. So I finally did get there. But it does feel weird because you're like, it would be like if you just stopped driving your car to check your map and then went back to the driver's seat and started driving your car again. You know what I mean? It just feels weird. Yeah. So I go back and I'm like, okay, so this is where I need to be. Well, I have to slow down, right? You have to take the sails down and drop the anchor and all this other piratey stuff. Well, I didn't do that fast enough. So I crashed into the island or into the sandbar. So I'm like, okay, well, this is a good place to stop. So I put my anchor down, and I jump off on the island, and I find the treasure, and I ward off all the skeletons or skellingtons, if you will. And I'm like, okay, I can see the appeal of this. I run back to my ship because all these skeletons are coming after me, and they're reappearing because it's nighttime, and I don't know, but there were a lot more than when I first got there. So I grab it, and I'm like, all right, it's time to get out of here. So I get to my ship, and I'm like, why the hell can't I climb the ladder up to my ship? What the hell's going on? So within about 10 seconds, half of my ship is underwater. I anchored it too close to the shore, and so it kept constantly beating up against the ground.
So
it eventually just capsized. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I'm screwed now. So I just get myself killed, and the boat of the damned or whatever. That's
cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, the death boat. And then my second time, I was on my way somewhere, and I finally see a ship. So I'm like, oh shit, it's about to go down. You damn right I'm gonna attack them, because it's an online.
It's going down for real.
I think that's what played. Yeah, best song ever. So I load the cannon, and I'm starting to. I put the wheel in, jam it over to the left or whatever, and do the death circle. And I try shooting this bitch, but holy God, it is difficult to shoot and account for your speed and their speed. And I think I only hit them twice. Needless to say, there was 2 people on their boat. They killed me. They capsized me. And so I was like, I'm gonna sneak over to their boat underwater, and then I'm gonna hop on while they're not paying attention and kill them both, and they won't even know. And then they shot me in the water, because they could see that I was swimming near the boat. They're just like, yeah, no. Screw that guy.
It'll happen.
And then those were my experiences. And so I realized, given our track record, Jason, and yours is a little bit better because you have an Xbox and you have a Switch, but given our track record in the past, the only game that we've ever been good at getting other people to play was hockey. And that's just because other people already were playing hockey.
Yeah. Hockey and Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm afraid to buy a game where the funnest action is for people.
Yeah, I mean, you can do the matchmaking and get paired with the crew.
Oh, okay.
Of other players, so you don't have to, depending if you do it. I did jump, I tried jumping in solo once too, and sailing's very difficult. Because if you're steering, you can't see past your sails.
Yeah.
To see what's in front of you. So I think, for instance, Coach Mo has a great time playing the solo, because he just goes around and tries to ravage other people and steals their boats and sabotages people. So that's one way to play it. It's really hard to do the actual progress by yourself. I've only played with groups of 3 other people, so a group of a crew of 4, and it is an absolute blast, because somebody's got the wheel. Someone's manning the sails. You got someone being the lookout. You got people on the cannon. It was just a blast. And I've had interactions where, we had to go we sail to an island, and we have this vague description trying to find this buried treasure and get out of there with that. Or we've had interactions with other pirates where we've had some naval warfare. So I've done a little bit of that, and it was just fun. And I think for probably you, what will make or break this game for you is the experience of who you're playing with. It's like would you want to jump in and play Rust solo all the time?
No.
Rust would not be a fun game, and I think this really shines when you're playing with other people, and I think that's going to be the point. Yeah. So I what I would recommend for you, because you've already done your free month. I mean, $10, you can give it a go for a month. Just do the Game Pass for $10. See if you like it.
How many games I can actually get into with other people.
Because that's what. As soon as that game comes out, I'm gonna jump on with Game Pass, and I'm gonna finally activate that up. And if nothing else, I'm probably just gonna go in and buy 6 months worth of Game Pass at a time. Because I was gonna buy Sea of Thieves anyway, and then this way, I'll have the same cost, 6 months. Will be the equivalent of what Sea of Thieves was retail, and give it a go and see how I like it. I am on Xbox, so I do have that, but I'm probably going to try it on my PC as well and see whatever runs better. I will say it's been a flawless experience using the Xbox app to party up and party chat with people when I do play. With my setup, it's so convoluted. I have an HDMI converter that I'm splitting my audio out of. So my Xbox audio is running into my PC. So I'll use the Xbox app for my party chat, and I'm actually playing on the Xbox, and all my audio is going through my PC. I don't know. It's a shame because you've already used that free trial, I think.
Yeah.
Game Pass. So that'd be the most beneficial way if you still had a way to to get like a free run out of it, but
it was only 2 weeks, by the way.
It was 2 weeks.
14 days. Yeah.
So, yeah, because the times that I played it, I had an absolute. I played it with Joseph Moran, Bobby the Nintendo Guru, and Sean. I ran around with those guys, and then I played with Donnie, Kyle, and Josh, and then at one point Q, all from PSVG, and it was so fun, just like running around, trying to find treasure, escaping, just sailing around in that game is fun, you know, because it just looks so cool, and I'm looking forward to actually being able to like customize a pirate, and unfortunately, the character creation is extremely limited in that, and who knows, maybe I won't like it at all, but at least I'm only out the cost of, you know, the Game Pass instead of
true.
That
Plus,
game
you can
itself,
play other games on there anyway.
Yep.
So
I think those are fair criticisms, because I would probably feel the same way if I had played it solo like that. I don't have much of a desire for that game.
I liked what I saw. It's just I'm scared because we've been down this road many a time with MMORPGs and such. So,
yep, I agree absolutely. I think that's fair criticism. I do.
But that's all I did this week.
That's all you got. Yeah. All right. I mostly watched a lot of things. We right on the heels of watching 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri last week. We kept our Oscar noms film watching going, and much on the story of, you know, a coming of age tale. I picked up 2 movies that I knew my wife wanted to see, and I wanted to see them as well. Lady Bird and Coco. And we watched Lady Bird first, which great movie. Really enjoyed it. I think Jess she really liked it is because it was for her. She said it was nice to see like a coming of age story that focused on a female lead instead of always a male. So, and I had no idea going into this that it was set, you know, in like 2002, 2003.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so I was like the same age as the main character Lady Bird at that time, you know, so it was extremely familiar setting, you know, that last senior year of high school, you know, not really applying yourself. What are you going to do after this? And it's just really good. I don't know what else. I think it's just a really good film. Like, you know, people already talk about, you know, Saoirse Ronan, and then what is the director's? That's her debut. Greta Garbo, or I can't think of her last name.
I'm looking for you, Bob.
Just really good. I can't recommend it enough. We both really liked it. It's just a good journey, you know. It's like this. It's really interesting story to watch play out.
Greta Gerwig.
Greta Gerwig.
I was gonna say Garbo is a very unfortunate last name.
Yeah. And so after that, we watched Coco, animated film from Pixar, set with the whole Day of the Dead motif. This won best animated film. I think it won for music as well. Great story. I can't think of the boy's name, but his family has outlawed music, and his dream is to be a musician. Doesn't have a guitar, and then he ends up stealing one from a crypt of this famous musician that all the Mexican people celebrate. He's transported to the other side, you know, to the land of the dead, and it's like his journey to get back, and there's a little mystery that unravels. It's just a really good, you know, like a feel-good movie. It talks about, you know, the importance of family and this and that. You know, Disney and Pixar, they always make you teary with their stories, and after a while, you just forget you're even watching an animated film. Right. You know, it's just crazy. It just looks great. Awesome colors. Really good, really cool music.
I was actually going to say, I read an article that Coco is one of the best 4K experiences with HDR. That you can get, just because like there's certain scenes that with the color and everything. I haven't seen it, but there was a bridge or something that was made out of
there's a bridge of petals of flower petals. It's all like. It's really, really cool film. We both really like that as well. I can't recommend both of these enough. I don't want to they're very new. So
yeah, I'm planning on watching them
over
both.
And talk about them.
I wanted to see
Redbox, baby.
Yeah, I wanted to see Lady Bird in theaters, but it just didn't work out that way. That was when we were trying to go to the theater like 2 or 3 weekends in a row, and it just never worked out. So by that
trying
point,
to go to the theater like me.
Yeah.
And then I already talked about The Tick. I jumped back into that. And then I did pick up a couple indie games this past week. Flint Hook, which I had been thinking about jumping in on Steam for the longest time. It debuted on Nintendo Switch last Friday, $15. It is a platforming roguelike. Wasn't aware that it was a roguelike at the time. I'm not a huge fan of that series, but it's all right. You play as the title character Flint Hook. You're like this space pirate. And the whole concept is, you are attacking, you select your missions based on difficulty and challenges, and you attack this other pirate, their space vessel, looting, getting gold, treasure the whole way, unlocking perks and items. And by completing the run, so to speak, you get, I can't remember what the actual, it's like some type of orb or a crystal you get, and you feed that in, like inside your compass is like this little goo critter thing, and you feed him the item that you collect. And after you get, like in the first set of missions, after you get 3, he then reveals your bounty location, which is the boss, because that's your whole goal, is to unlock the bounty, take down the boss, and save these little ghost guys, whatever, and move on. And so it's fun, quick. You can get through those missions really quick, but the bosses, man, much like Rogue Legacy, those bosses are freaking hard. Like the first boss, I don't know how many times I died. And much like a roguelike, you die, gain experience, unlock perks that you can then, use to better equip yourself. But man, the bosses are unforgiving. Like I finally got through it barely. I'm on the second boss now, and I haven't been so successful, because now like you have a pistol attack, and then you have like a hook shot, so to speak, and you can zip around. You grab parts of the world, and you can zip around, and you can, so you're kind of like swinging from the air, almost like, not quite like Bionic Commando, but sort of in a little bit. You can zip from point A to point B, and like, so that's the second boss I'm stuck on. You have to like suspend yourself in the air by grappling multiple points to damage him, and it's just, there's all these other objects flying at you at the same time. It's tough. There's daily challenges. There's weekly challenges. It's a fun game. It controls really well. If you're a fan of roguelikes, I would say by all means jump into it. I'll keep hammering away at it and hopefully get through it. And the last thing I played, I finally broke down and bought Stardew Valley.
Yeah,
so I've been doing a little farming, Harvest Moon dating simulator. I
didn't think that you would be interested in it, honestly, because I talked about it a little bit, but I think you're probably farther than I've ever got.
I'm on day 4. I haven't played it much.
I was trying to go around and talk to everybody. Like the last thing I remember doing is fishing or something.
Yeah, I think I've talked to like 23 or 24. Too. But my thought with this though, this is a great like time killer. It's a great game that you can just jump in and out of, and it's an easy game that I can play, for 20 minutes before bed and at least make some progress. Not too much else to say about that. I like it. It's got good music, and there is a game that comes out tomorrow that I can't wait to jump into, which is The Long Reach, which is like a horror. It's a 2D pixel horror side-scrolling adventure type game that looks really cool. So I'm looking forward to playing that. But just been enjoying time with these indie games. Obviously, Nintendo had a direct last week, and I'm pumped about Super Smash Brothers being officially announced for Switch and coming in 2018. I'm just gonna keep enjoying these indies until it's time for the next release, and I think that's probably gonna be, if I maybe Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I'll pick that port up. Maybe Hyrule Warriors. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, I don't know. I have no problem picking up a $5, $10, $15 indie game on Switch, because there's been a ton of them. They've been great fillers to get through to your next first party release. So that's what I got. That is what I got.
Nice. You did some work, dude.
Yeah,
you're doing better. I was gonna say you're doing better at movie watching than I am lately.
Yeah, I mean that's what Jess and I have done, on our Fridays. a couple times.
Nice.
You know.
We'll probably do that now that all those movies are on demand, it seems like. So
yeah, right? So that is going to do it for What You Plan. Community Grab Bag this week kind of got all wrapped up into our discussion topic on reimagined or rebooted streaming series.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, it's time to end the show. What do you think, Luke? You ready to get out of here?
Yeah, I think so. It feels weird because normally we start at 9 because we're effing off everything. And
we tried to do that again. So
that's true.
As always, if you want to support this podcast, I urge you to check out patreon.com/Fluxtaposed. We want to thank all of our patrons. A special thanks to our arbiters of awesomeness, Sean Capri, Edwin Callow, Tyler Rowland, and Nathan Horton. And a very special thanks to those executors of excellence, Josh Barboni, Dan Anthony, and Siri Renee. I'm still waiting for Josh to say something about the Bologna Barboni. He hasn't raised my attention on that yet. So thank you guys. Thank you everyone for listening to the podcast, for watching the podcast. And a reminder, we have what is our Netflixation coming up? Mute. That'll be in just a couple more weeks. So got time to watch that.
Or 27th is when we'll be talking about
27th. So you got 2 weeks exactly before we'll talk about that on the show. So as always, we always appreciate you guys sharing the show, enjoying the show, being a part of the show. So until next week, friends, we'll do some Yoda. And go watch this as Fluxtaposed ran Nintendo with Sean Capri.
It's true.
And with that, I say good day, sir.
I said good day. You were live there.